Hey, what's going on? This is Ricardo with the Code 7 Podcast Network, and it is October 28th, 2021, and we're about to get started with Open Mic Live. But as always, a word from our sponsors.
At InDigital, we know that public safety professionals hold themselves to a high standard. In fact, standard doesn't do it justice. In over 25 years working alongside you, carrying millions of calls over our IP networks, your dedication has inspired us. That's why our ESINet goes beyond industry standards, not only I3 compliant, but designed to adapt to future development for a network you can count on when it matters most. Learn more at indigital.net.
Here in Greenville County, we have 8 different places where a 911 call can be answered.
It is the largest county in South Carolina. It's a challenge.
The type of information that a telecommunicator gets from Radius Plus is location-based technology. You can see where the caller is, if they have a medical issue, if they speak a different language. They're immediately able to text to that caller in their native language. It reduces response times because it immediately gets first responders where they need to be.
If Within the Trenches has ever taught you something, open your eyes to what it is like to be a 911 dispatcher, or has inspired you to become one, then help support us and join our Patreon. Get exclusive bonus content, one-of-a-kind swag, discounts on merchandise, ad-free early access to new episodes, and much more. To join, please visit patreon.com/WTT podcast. And if you're an industry partner, we have something for you as well. And now, for the show.
This is Jordan, and you're listening to the Code 7 Podcast Network.
Warning. This episode contains the 3 A's of podcasting: adult content, adult language, and awesomeness. You've been warned.
Dispatch.
There is no one over here to cook our lunch. We are waiting for our lunch, and there's no one here to cook our lunch.
All right, calm down. Where are you at?
The group home. Now, what are you going to do?
We'll get some help over there for you, okay?
Welcome to Open Mic, where we visit the lighter side of dispatch, because laughing is good medicine. Good evening and welcome to Open Mic Live. It is October 28th, 2021, and this live broadcast is sponsored by InDigital as well as Rapid Deploy and Carbine. I hope you are all doing very well. And let's see. I'm doing good. I'm doing pretty good. I am fresh back from the Michigan Public Safety Telecommunications Conference, and it was superb. If you were there, you know what I'm talking about. It was an excellent time. But as always, it's Thursday. We check in with each other every time we do Open Mic Live. So I want to see how everyone is doing. On a scale of 1 to 10, how are you feeling? 1 being shitty, of course, and 10 being awesome. So along with those numbers, roll call. Where are you watching from? Where are you at? Throw in your number. And if you have any stories or anything, please throw them in the comments. I will read them. And especially if you have any spooky stories, some goose stories, some ghost stories, anything that has happened in dispatch, or any calls that you've taken, anything like that, throw them in there. And let's get this started. Also, throw in some reactions, please. Those reactions help more people see this broadcast, and of course, share the broadcast either on your feed or your favorite dispatch page. So thank you so very much. We've got some numbers coming in right now in locations. We've got a 9 from Tim out of DeKalb, Illinois, and then Lisa is here from Cleveland, Ohio at a 10. Very nice. We got some high numbers already. James, a 10. Well done. I saw your tweet, and that looked like it was an awesome time. So excellent work on that. And he's home currently, South Jersey. So I've got some stuff that I want to talk about and that I will be getting to. I'll be sharing a couple clips from a live broadcast that I did a couple days ago with both Whitney and Leah. And yes, I did say Whitney. Whitney, my original co-host from back in the Diz-A. I was her supervisor back in Allegan, and she is now the deputy director there at Allegan County Central Dispatch. So I love you both. It was an excellent time. It was a lot of fun, and we talked a lot of shit, and it's going to go along with what we're going to be talking about today. But again, any funny 911 stories, throw them in there, or any ghost stories, throw them in there as well. I'll share a few of my own. And you have heard a lot of the stuff from when I was growing up, and a lot of stuff that happened at that house. So I might share a little bit on that as well for those who are new. But I want to also say big shout out to patrons. Just got a new patron recently. Thank you so much for becoming a patron. And for the podcast, we have surpassed 1.6 million downloads worldwide. It's heard in like 55 countries or something like that. But I just wanted to say thank you. Thank you for the support. Thank you for listening and sharing. And it's been awesome. I don't know what I'm going to do when I hit 2 million. Probably throw a party or something. I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'll just do what I'm doing right now, saying thanks. It'll be good either way. But surpassed 1.6 million downloads. When I first started this, this was a college project. I had no idea that it would do what it has done, and just everything that has come from it. So thank you all so very much again for the support, but also for the job that you do, because the success of this podcast, as well as the I Am 911 movement, imagine listening, all of it would be nothing without all of you. And the job that you do each and every day is the most vital piece of public safety. So thank you, first responders, for everything. I appreciate it more than you know. So let's jump into some of the stories. And one last thing. I posted episodes 410 today. 411 will be coming up this Saturday, right before the end of this month. And then 412 will be going out for patrons. And then 412 will go out the following Wednesday. So there's a lot of episodes coming up. I have, I don't know, almost 10 that are getting ready to get put out there. So make sure to look out for that. But as always, it's always fun being here with all of you to share some funny stories, some funny stuff, anything that has happened. So as I mentioned in the beginning, I am fresh back from the Michigan conference. It went very, very well. I was nervous. It's my home state, but I was nervous. This 8 years ago at that conference, that was my first conference ever, was at Michigan NINA, doing stuff for the podcast. And a good friend of mine who passed away about 4 or 5 years ago now, Jerry Tapper, she was the one who suggested that I go to the conference, present what it was that I was doing, but also record some episodes. And from there, everything started. And I remember the last time I talked to her, and actually every time I went back to the conference and I would talk to her, I would say thank you. And because I'll never forget that. I don't know what would have happened if I had not started there or without her suggestion. So the last time I spoke to Jerry, I remember thanking her again, and she goes, I didn't do nothing. She goes, I just nudged you a little bit. You're doing something that has been needed for a very long time, and just keep doing what you're doing. She's like, don't stop. And I haven't. And so thank you, Jerry, for that. It was really good to be back, because I was doing a breakout session back in 2013, and then a few days ago I was doing one of the keynotes for the conference, and being on stage with everyone there and sharing part of my story, but then doing Imagine Listening and sharing the I Am 911 movement. So it was a great time. Thank you to those there at the Michigan conference for everything, for all the attendees. And that one of those nights, the Monday night, I had set everything up, and I had a guest that had come to visit simply for the podcast to record an episode, and some stuff went down. She had to leave, which is bullshit. But today we recorded the episode and it was amazing. It would have been awesome if we could have done it right there in person, but stuff happened. I'm not going to say what, but it all worked out either way. So thank you for everything that you did, and for all the help that you had done there as well before what happened. So along with that, there was open mic that was done at the conference, and the stories that came out of that session, oh my Lord. So I want to share something really quick as we're getting started here. And again, if you have any stories at all, throw them in the comments, and I will read them. But I want to share this. And hopefully I can find the right spot, because this was a good time, and I want you to hear this, because oh man, it was on me. The humor was on me at my expense. But as I've always said, even if it's at my expense, it just makes it that much more funny. So as I had mentioned before, there was a live broadcast that I ended up doing, and Whitney and Leah were on it. It was so awesome to have Whitney on. I think we ended up doing 40 or so episodes together before I ended up moving to Indiana, and obviously Whitney ended up staying there. So I want to share some of this, and hopefully you can hear it. If for some reason you can't, please put it in the comments. So let me push play here, and I want to try to find the spot, because when I started open mic, I started with Whitney. She had a couple stories that had to do with me, actually. So let me see if I have the spot here. I'm just gonna skim through. And so we were just, oh man, we were talking right before we went live. But so let's start out with open mic. So I did my session today. We had open mic going on, and I had Whitney start out with telling a few stories. Now, before this started, she comes up to me and she's like,
No, it was fast.
I just noticed that Whitney was just staring at the camera, cheesing it. In passing, she's like, I have a couple stories that I want to tell that's about you. I was like, all right. And you didn't know that I was going to go with you first.
No, I know. And then,
even the look on your face, you're like, oh, okay.
Hey, everybody. No, I think the conversation between Ricardo and I, he's talking to everybody in the room. We just kind of come off the really heavy stuff. There's some people still kind of sniffling, and he's walking past me just to tell me one thing. I'd kind of been helping with like a microphone or whatever. And he was walking past me, and I was like, hey, can I tell him about your stomach issues? And like,
oh my God.
That's the only thing. And as we're walking past each other, he's like, yeah, sure.
Because we've all heard the burrito story, so this is above and beyond that.
It is. So It's about, do you want me? I mean, are we cool?
Yeah.
See, because
yes, we're in the trust tree. Yes. Okay. But what I had heard was, can I tell him about your issues? And I said, yeah, go ahead. So then you go ahead.
Yeah. So he opens up with me, and I'm standing there with a mic ready to deliver it to somebody. And he's like, Whitney will start. And I was like, Ricardo's lactose intolerant.
And my jaw drops.
Yeah.
Literally.
And then I had, you have like that 30-minute conversation.
Because I didn't realize that's where she was going to go with it. I seriously thought she said to talk about some of your issues or something like that. So then I'm on stage and she's talking, and as she's talking and saying everything that she's about to, say, she's staring me down and like walking towards me as I'm just busting up laughing the whole time. It was so good.
Conversation with yourself in 2 seconds in your brain. And the only thing I remember thinking was full send. We're just going to tell people. So I'm like, I had the pleasure of starting 911 years ago, and Ricardo was my supervisor. And now as a deputy director, I'm off the floor, but I learned from the best. I said, but the trouble that I ran into was that Ricardo struggles with lactose intolerance. And obviously that's a forever thing that you don't just like get over, but you can manage it. Ricardo did not manage it. There was no managing it. So this dude would show up with like a Frosty from Wendy's. He'd walk in the door and I'd be like, oh,
Working by myself.
Some people were like full moon night, and I'd be like Frosty night. Great. I'm gonna have a quadruple homicide that I'm gonna run by myself now because Mr. Poopy McPoops a lot is gonna be down the hallway. So yeah, I tell people to this day.
Well, I had to frost the bathroom. So.
You did. Yeah. We'd get pizza and he'd be eating pizza and I'd be across the room being like,
look, someone put a cry emoji on there. They must be feeling bad for you.
Yes. Oh, I was going to say, I thought you meant for you. I was like,
oh, maybe for me. I don't know.
I am the victim here.
I think every dispatch center has one though. Like there's
you got a pooper.
Okay. So here's the question. As they're saying, every dispatch center has a pooper. Is that true? I'm curious. And it's probably not just in dispatch, right? It's probably in every field. Tim right away, he's like, yes, there is. Man. This is bullshit. But it's funny. That's why I wanted you to see this. That's why I wanted you to hear what we were talking about, because we also talk a little bit about a couple of the calls that were mentioned during that open mic session, which I did record. But the only thing is that the system didn't have the hookups, and or at least the ones that I had, that just didn't match up. So I had to use my phone. Okay, I had to use my phone to record the audio. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to go in and turn up the audio for each person who speaks, so that you can actually hear it, and hopefully, bring down some of the background noise so that it doesn't sound horrible. And if for some reason it doesn't work, well, it just wasn't meant to be. But at least in this broadcast, we talked a little bit about some of those calls, because and I want to ask all of you this, all of you who are watching this right now, what types, or how do I even word this? So when given CPR, you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, right? You're giving out these instructions, life and death situation, but then it turns out to be something completely different. You're either actually doing CPR on an iguana, on a dog, on a mannequin. Like, have you had any of those calls where it ends up turning out that what you've been doing is giving CPR to some object? That's what I want to know for all of you who are watching right now. Has that happened? So I want to play a little bit more of this, because we start talking about this here in a moment.
Yeah, and you
Oh my
love
God.
serial
I was the
killer.
pooper.
You
I
love
was the
your
pooper?
people. Congratulations.
What? Okay, I was. I forgot I ended up saying that. Jeez.
You've done a lot for our industry.
I know.
Yeah. So we don't do the Frosty thing. I mean, whatever. We love you. You can do the Frosty thing. But if you walk in the door,
I haven't had a Frosty since dispatch.
You haven't?
No.
You're like, this dude needs to put 3 hours of PTO on his timesheet for today.
So I was a good supervisor, man.
Great supervisor.
Oh, Lucille here says, "Oh my God, there is always that one."
Lucille, you smell what I'm stepping in?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I was dropping it. So, jeez.
Yeah.
But the pizza from the place was good though. I couldn't help it. Yes. Vitali's. Hold on. Vitali's. Yeah.
Nobody's adhering to the rule lately. It's driving me nuts.
Oh, is yours right in your center?
That's how it started out. There were a bunch of stories though that were shared that I could not believe.
And we had a couple firsts.
Yes.
Yeah. The CPR one. Yeah. I wasn't sure if I just dropped, but tell it.
No, it's not my story to tell.
You can give just an oversight for people that didn't get a chance to hear it earlier.
Yeah,
Great.
So it was a CPR call. Somebody called in, so their significant other, husband, I think, had dropped, and they were talking to somebody through CPR. Yeah. EMS gets there.
See?
And
she was like beside herself.
Yeah,
she's like, I'm breaking his ribs.
Yep. So there's noises and breaking his ribs. Yeah. EMS gets on scene, and she was pumping on a bird cage. So
Yes, a
Like, that
fucking
is a
bird
first.
cage, which was a first for open mic. But so this is one of those things. Okay, so you heard that. This person was talking about they were giving CPR instructions, and the person is saying how they can hear their ribs cracking, right? And you know that happens. So they're going along and going and going, and then it turns out that they were doing CPR on a bird cage the whole time. But again, you know, you take these calls and you do what you're supposed to be doing. It's high priority. You are a professional, and you continue going and you continue going, and then you get to the end, and it turns out it's a bird cage. What the hell? And so Tim, I threw this on the screen, but Tim says CPR on a bag of flour. You can't make this shit up. Let's see. Lisa here says, my partner talked to a caller through delivering a baby. Talked them through the entire call, which included the cord around the baby's neck. Whoa. When paramedics got on scene, they transported all parties to the hospital. We called for an update. When they got back to the station, woman's water hadn't even broke, and she was sitting in a chair when EMS got on scene. What? Wait a minute. So was there one? That already sounds very interesting. Or is it like these other ones where it's like a, you know, a bag of flour or a bird cage or something like that? This next one that they end up talking about, I need to fast forward it here just a little bit, because this next one, I don't even know. Oh, eventually. Oh, okay. I gotcha. All right, let me see if this pops up or if I'm in the right spot. Hold on just a second. Ends up telling everyone to slow down. And
That was a great one.
oh, I was like, thanks for helping me out there.
There was another one that made me chuckle, and I had a bunch of stories that came into my head, and I know a lot of you who are in the industry will too. But it was somebody on running a driver's license, and the name was very comical.
Yes.
And yeah, I know everybody's like going through the Rolodex.
Oh yeah, this was one that we we didn't say the name on here, and actually in the broadcast, that one I'm gonna delete. That one was just for us at that time. But I'll tell you this: the name that they said was very funny. So let me go forward just a little more. I'm not sure what happened here, but hold on.
Yeah, grow up, children.
I know, he's stupid. It was pretty good though.
He would have laughed. He would have laughed if it
Right.
was you.
Yeah. There's so many different names, but all the rest calling in. No, I think it was a guy, actually. A guy called in because his wife ended up putting a knitting needle into.
Oh.
Oh man, I forgot about that one right there too. It's gonna take me a minute to find that one. There's a few in there that we end up talking about, but so one specifically, and I'm not even sure if I should say it. Oh gosh, should I say it for those who are watching right now? Because I have so many questions about this one. And I almost want to just kind of skim through and find it just so that we can hear it. And let me try. Look at my face actually right there. That's so bad. Oh my God. Okay, let me see.
She was very professional. She's
Very
a
confident.
wonderful dispatcher. She didn't laugh at all, but I was like,
Oh, there it is.
know about the story until my dispatcher shared it with 400,000.
Actually, similar to another story that we heard today as
It
well.
was. This is sport.
Okay, I think this is it right here. Okay.
Scorpion. That was from my center.
Scorpion, yeah.
Yes.
A scorpion.
Okay, so you know about this story, right? You know about the call and everything?
I did not.
What?
I did not know about the story until my dispatcher shared it with 400,000 people.
And
I'm standing at the front of the room.
And now it'll be QA'd.
Yes. And then she yells vagina in the room. And I was like,
yes.
Which is fine. It's medical. She was very professional. She's
Very
a
confident.
wonderful dispatcher. She didn't laugh at all, but I was like,
but why would a scorpion get put in there?
Yeah. So there was.
Okay. So there you have it. That is what happened. Have any of you taken a call like that? This was a first. This was one of the first. So CPR in a bird cage and the scorpion in the girly bits. Oh my God. Okay, hold on.
Marital activities, and then there was a 911 call that was placed because there was a scorpion that was, I don't know, I think mental health had something to do with it maybe, but I was like, as I'm walking the microphone back to the stage, I'm like, I would have been like, what card do I use for that? Inaccessible incident?
I know. Foreign body object.
Well, and I mean, did it end up being true though, or
No. I asked her afterwards. I was like, was that from this place? And she's like, no, it was one caller that we dealt with for 1 month. And she called several times because the scorpion was now in her fallopian tube. And then we just never heard from her anymore.
Oh.
So I don't think it was true. But in that moment, like a professional, you treat it like it's true.
Right.
Even if your caller is like disassociating and they don't really know what they're saying or whatever, you still treat them with respect because that's what we do. But there are times where you hang up the phone and you're like, I don't know if I could have been prepared for that call. I don't think.
And we take way more of those, I think, than people realize.
Yeah. And you don't even share them with your partner because it's not like you want to laugh at people's misfortunes or you want to share the funny things because we get it. It's not funny for people who are living in that moment, but time and time again,
the situation.
Yeah. Time and time you hang up and you're like, how would I explain my job to like a new
right? This is what you're going to hear.
Huh.
Okay, so right there, how do you explain your job to someone who doesn't know or someone new, especially when a call comes in where the caller is telling you that their boyfriend put a scorpion in their vagina? Yeah. I just said that right now. And actually the look on all of our faces is exactly how probably each and every one of us would have looked if we were the ones who ended up taking that call. Oh my Lord. So if you have an EMD certification, like what card would you go to for that? Oh, man. As they said, it ended up turning out not to be real, but the person was calling in and was saying that, but dude, what if something like that happened? Like, I don't even know what to say. James here says, so James, you took a call for a roach in an ear, right? How did that even come in? I mean, I can't even, can you think about that? Like you go to sleep, you wake up all of a sudden and you're like, what is in my ear? And it turns out that it's a roach. Oh, dude. Oh, that's horrible. Yeah, no, that would not be fun. But then, being on the other end, you being the person who's taking the call, oof. Yeah, not something. But again, even something like this with the scorpion, I can't even imagine. Oh God. Yeah, no, there were a lot of calls that were talked about, and I can't wait to put that episode together because a lot of those that were said were just, and it always, it only takes one call for all of them to end up going downhill. And for that to be one of the ones there at the end, I believe that was the last one. I believe that was the last one that was said, and we wrapped it up with that. We're like, all right, that's my time. thank you very much, everyone, for coming out for the session. And but it was a lot of fun, as always. We go through Imagine listening, and it's emotionally intense. We're telling these stories, and there are some saves in there as well, but still very impactful. And then we go from that to open mic, and then we start sharing these stories. And again, it's the situation, not the callers. It's the situation that we're kind of chuckling at, because there's a lot of stuff that comes in, again, that you can't make up, and you can't believe that are the ones that are coming in. You just, what? Like, are you for real? is that really what's going on? Let's see. Oh, Mike, what's going on, man? He says the collective gasp was hilarious at the conference with the Scorpion story. For real. Yes. And oh man, I hope that I was able to capture that. Like I said, I was recording on my phone. So it is my hope that when that person was telling the story, that you can hear everyone go, because I know I was standing up there making faces like, for real? And then for Whitney, for that to be one of her folks, and had never heard that story before. Oh man. Yeah, that it made it even more funny to be able to be there and talk about that and everything too, because that's, what do? You just continue on. You continue on and you do what you have to do. That's what happens. It was superb. And that live broadcast actually is going to be an episode as well that I'm going to put out. I have to do a little bit of editing, but I'm going to end up putting it out there as well. So continue on. If you have any funny 911 stories, please throw them into the comments. But also, if you have any kind of spooky stories as well, because I know everyone has one, and there are a few that I want to tell here as well. Again, I've told them before, but there might be some new people on here who have not heard them. So I want to share a story where, of course, this is when I was in dispatch. And there was a call that came in where, well, actually, let me tell this part of it first. So in the southwest portion of our county, there was a hotel out there. It's not there anymore. I believe the only thing that's left is just like the tennis court. So there was a hotel out there. They called it the Yellow Hotel, actually Yellow Motel, because the place supposedly, according to legend, was a hideout of Al Capone's. And it goes as far to say that, of course, the place was haunted. And when you would drive by, especially at night, it had like this, from what I read once, putrid yellow, like puke color. So that's why they called it the Yellow Motel. Like it would kind of glow a little bit when you would go by it. There were people that would go after dark onto the property, and they would say that they would be chased out by dogs with red eyes. And my cousins, actually, some of my cousins went out there once and said that they saw them. I don't know if it's true or not. I never went out there at night. Screw that, because it's in the middle of nowhere. It's off a dirt road, and it's pretty spooky. Like, you don't want your car to end up turning off out there or something happening. So people would say, like I said, they would go by there and see it glowing that puke yellow. Well, also behind that motel, there, from what people have, according to legend, again, like some sort of quicksand or something like that. Like Capone and his crew would get people who owed them money or whatever, and would kill them off and just let them go into the quicksand. So there were all these different stories there in the area that I grew up in. Halcyon, what's up, LaFranc? Coming at you live from Virginia EPCO. I will say this really quick. Halcyon and Sarah both kicked some ass out there doing a pre-conference course. Well done, ladies. I knew that you two would kill it. So well done on that. And if you're looking for anyone to do any pre-conference courses, make sure to check out Halcyon and Sarah. They've got an excellent one. So it's bingo night. Hell yeah. Bingo night's always fun, right? So also tell people I said hello there. Hello, everyone at bingo night. So behind that place, like I said, there were quicksand out there. Apparently, people would go out there, they'd die, and they'd throw their bodies into the quicksand. Again, I don't know if this is true. This is all legend. But there were also like tunnels around the area as well. And there was a car crash. And people would say that if you went by in that area at a certain time, you would see a car that was crashed into the tree. Supposedly this happened to like Capone and stuff, and they ended up, splitting or whatever. But people would say that they would see like a ghost car out there. And, they would turn around to go and see if everyone was okay. And when they went back, the car was gone, but they definitely saw it. So there was one morning, I was working dispatch and I was getting ready to leave. And one of our officers was leaving that area. He was working that area the entire night. And I remember we got a phone call from the local record service, and they said, hey, I just got a phone call from someone saying that there was a car into a tree. So, of course, we're looking for all the information, also to see, well, do we need to send EMS out there or anything? I said, what more information do you have? And he ended up saying, all they told me was that they passed by this car into a tree. And it looked like it had been there for a very long time. No lights on, it doesn't look like anybody was inside. And so we put it out over the air. And the officer who was leaving that area for the night, he was going home. He goes, I'm just taking off. I'll head out there and check it out. And he goes, just roll, EMS and everyone, low priority. He goes, I'm not far from there. So we're waiting. We're not paying attention to the connection of where this location is at. And after a little while, he keys up on the radio and he's a Central, go ahead and disregard the wrecker. There's no vehicle out here. So we're just kind of sitting there and everyone is just we're looking kind of puzzled. And we start looking at the location again, and we're starting to put two and two together. And then the officer keys up again and he goes, by the way, Central, I'm just down the road from the old Yellow Motel. I'm pretty sure that was that car or something like that. So that was creepy because all three of us there in dispatch, we just because we were starting to put two and two together that was the ghost car that people talk about, that they end up passing by. There's a car into the tree and then it's gone. And, it just vanishes like a fart in the wind. So it was some creepy shit, man, because we actually experienced that. And it was probably even more creepy, of course, for the officer, because he's driving around there, doesn't see any car or anything, and then realizes, oh shit, like I'm just down from the Yellow Motel. And this is probably the ghost car that people reportedly have seen before. And then, it just disappears. So that was pretty nuts. There was another time, and luckily the place that we were in, there wasn't, any like hauntings or weird shit that ever happened at the center. And before I say this one, I'll say another one really quick. I worked for a private company doing 911 stuff before I went to Allegan, and at this place, they took me down to the basement where their old dispatch center was. Now it's still set up the way it was for whatever reason. Like nobody works there or anything anymore, but it's all set up and everything is turned on. So you get in the elevator and you go all the way down to the basement. And when you get out, you see like the glass enclosure of where everything is for dispatch. And we walked in and we were looking at everything, and they were telling me a story, and they were telling me about the person who owned the company, he really liked everything, that had to do with dispatch and stuff. So he would visit them often. And one night he was going down the elevator and he got a heart attack and he passed away. So when the doors opened, they found him there and he had passed. And they were saying that every night, I don't remember what time, but every night at a specific time, you'll hear the elevator come down and the doors will open and no one will be there. Now, I wonder if that's why they left everything set up, because they figure that the owner is still there and continues to go downstairs every single day on the elevator. I didn't stay long enough to witness it myself. I was like, well, let's go to the next building. Because they were telling me all about this stuff. And I'm sure that all of you, if you work in a center that's, at a sheriff's department and it's an old building or whichever, or maybe even, the courthouse that's there that's very old, there's some creepy shit that happens there. I know some folks here in Indiana who were at a center and like they saw this green light in there and like stuff moving around and it was just freaky. So those who are watching, do you have anything like that that has happened? Along with this building, this place where I dispatched at, that there were several buildings, and we ended up going to another one, and they were telling me this story where when the building was first being built, that there were a couple of kids that ended up passing away there. They were out there playing, and I don't remember exactly what happened, but after the building was fully built, those who were patrolling at night, they would hear two little kids playing in the hallways, running around, almost sounded like they were skipping, also laughing, playing, never crying, but laughing. Now, imagine walking through the building in the middle of the night. You're the only one there, and then you start hearing little kids laughing and playing. Hell no. I am all about the horror genre. I love scary movies. I also love being scared to a point. But that type of shit, no. That shit will give you nightmares. I mean, I've had stuff happen to me, being asleep and Carly, what is going on? Being asleep, okay, and then feeling something or someone grab onto my foot, like that, like on my toes, like these are my toes, and someone grabbing me like that. And I remember waking up, and I expected to see my daughter there, right? Because I've got a 5-year-old. She sometimes will wake up, and then you wake up, and there she is looking right at you, like, are you awake? And you're like, yeah, now I am. By the way, you just scared like 10 years away from my life. So that's what I expected to see. I expected to see my daughter at the end of the bed, grabbing onto my foot and playing around, trying to wake me up. She wasn't there. She was not there. And so I lay back down, and I'm laying there with my eyes open. And again, but this time it was harder. And I sat up really fast. No one there. No one hiding under the bed. So I ended up like being in fetal position and pulling my feet up because that freaked me out. How about that? Anyone else ever have that? Am I the only weird one? Like, come on now. Someone else has had to have had something like this happen. So, back to where I was dispatching before, so those were some of the stories that people would tell. And I remember going through there a couple times, and it was in the middle of the night in some of those buildings, and it was not good. Like, you could feel the presence. Like, it wasn't a bad presence, but you could tell something was, it felt like something was in there with you. So then you're just kind of walking, and I'm looking at shadows and stuff because I'm looking to see if I end up seeing anything there. And I didn't, but oh man, it was something else. James says, you should play the video of the officers checking the graveyard, and then the loud animal sound turned them around real quick. Like, is there a link? Is there a link somewhere? Because I'm not sure what you're talking about. I do remember seeing that one video of the officer who is on a pursuit, ends up turning and sees the car go right through a fence and continues like driving through a field. And I think they were calling it like the ghost car or something. But can you imagine that shit? Can you imagine driving? Think about being a new dispatcher, and you are going to do a ride along. Okay, you're doing a ride along with this officer, and you are now in pursuit of this vehicle, and you round the corner, and you think you have the vehicle that you're going to stop it, and you see it go right through the fence, and it just continues going. Nope, take me home. Because there is no amount of bulletproof anything that's going to stop whatever that was. Oh man, nope, that is some creepy shit right there. Speaking of creepy shit, again, if you haven't noticed, this is the Halloween episode. Halloween's going to be coming up this Sunday, and it's going to be a lot of fun. I will be dressing up as Gomez Addams. My daughter Olivia, my 5-year-old, was a police officer. She looks amazing. I'm going to be posting up some pictures. And then Lola was Wednesday from the Addams Family, and she does an amazing Wednesday. So of course I am going to part my hair in the middle. I'm going to shave this and just leave a little stash. I've got a suit, and I'm going to be Gomez. This is going to be really good. Before I share this picture here, okay, hold on a minute. It looks like this dude, and yes, exactly. Yeah, she looks freaking amazing as Wednesday. Deborah says, please make sure you take photos. I will. I do have some photos. I don't know if it'll show up well on off the camera here, but let me see if I can pull it up here really quick. Let's see if it'll focus. Boom, there you go. Yeah. They look very awesome. Very awesome. But I will make sure to get more pictures. I promise that. It's your birthday tomorrow. Happy birthday, Deborah. Very cool. I will not ask an age or anything because that would be inappropriate. But happy birthday. I hope it is an excellent one. So let me see if I can pull up what James sent me. See if I can find it here. So I have 2 different screens. I should be able to pull it up here. All right. Because I want to see. Oops. So I got to look in the comments here. Oh, it might not work. Dude, send it on Discord. I can pull it off of there because I can't pull it off of here. On this, it won't. I can't copy and paste or anything. It will not let me do it. So yeah, send it through Discord really quick, and I'll see if I can pull it up from there. And while you're doing that, I'm going to share this over here. 56 years young. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Very nice. Again, happy birthday. I hope it is an amazing, amazing day for you. And then let's see, Carly here. I was just offered a position for shift supervisor. Hell yeah. Congratulations. Yeah, very well done. Very well done. That is excellent. Lauren, what's going on? Oh, hi, Luigi. Yes, last year I was Mario. So this time I'm Luigi. Obviously, I didn't put too much into it. I just threw the hat on. Otherwise, I would have had the shirt, the suspenders. I would have gone all out. But no, I continue to be one of the Barrio brothers from the Barrio. Let's see. Lisa says, shameless plug. Everyone tune into Oxygen on Saturday, November 6th at 9 p.m. Eastern Time for the premiere of a new show featuring my awesome dispatchers and the great job that they do every day. It's called 911 Crisis Center. I saw the preview for that. It looks pretty awesome. Very, very cool. And I will extend here if any of you want to come on the podcast or anything to talk about this and get some more plugs in there, let me know. I would love to have you on and share your experience doing this emergency call that ABC did. I had Josie and Jackie on there. They're the twins out of Alaska, and it was a lot of fun. So if you ever want to come on and share any of those experiences or just highlight your people to be in general, send me an email and we'll do an episode. So let me put this on the screen as well. I'll keep it there for just a moment. And James says, yes, we're going to need a debrief. That was another thing that we did. We ended up doing a debrief on all the episodes. Well, the first half of it. So that was a lot of fun. And Lisa says, yes, let's talk. All right. This will be good. I'll have to, I'll shoot you a message. Also, my email will pop up here in the back at the end. So, we can talk about that as well. So that'd be a lot of fun. And let's see. Lauren says, I hate that I missed the majority of tonight. I was drawing a wimpy kid face for my kid's book character dress up day. It is all good. That is awesome. And it looks like someone sent me something on Discord. So let me see if I can pull this up really quick and we can check this out. Also, funny stories that we're throwing in here, ghost stories, and also I'm sharing some of mine. I have a little bit about the house that I grew up in that I'm going to share a little bit about, and hopefully nobody gets freaked out. It's nighttime. You're going to have to go to sleep soon. So hopefully you don't dream about my scary ass house that I grew up in, which used to be a funeral home. I grew up in an old funeral home. Maybe that's why I'm nuts. I don't know. Oh shit. Hold on a minute. What am I doing? Discord. I'm looking for Discord. Okay, hold on just one moment. Let me see if I can pull this up and then get this video going. I think this is the same one. Hold on. Let me see here. So it's just loading up right now. Again, this has been a lot of fun. This has been good, as always, to be able to come on here and talk with all of you about all kinds of things. Not just 911, all kinds of other things that are funny, or especially because we're going into Halloween, stuff about this as well. Deborah says, I love funeral homes. My best friend and her husband lived in one for years. Was theirs haunted as well? Because mine was haunted. Mine was definitely haunted. There was a lot of crazy shit that happened at that place, and it freaked me out, my family out. It was nuts. And okay, it looks like I've got the link here. So hold on one moment. And let me make sure. All right. I'm going to pull it up here on the tab. Okay, so this one is the video. So it says police patrolling graveyard cemetery at night. And it has been viewed over 38 million times. It's only 7 seconds. Wow. All right. Deborah says a little bit. Okay, so the funeral home was it was straight up haunted. Let's see. Lauren says, you said funeral home, and I instantly went to My Girl. Aw, it's a sad movie, man. Let me see here. Let me share this Okay, here we go. Hell no. Okay, I'm going to play it again. And this is why this has been viewed over 38 million times, because people are just watching and watching and watching and trying to hear it, or maybe see exactly, is it real or is it not? I mean, it had to have been, right? But I wonder what were they doing out there to begin with? Like, what kind of call came in where they ended up going out there? Let's see. Lauren says, is that our Hell's Church in our county? I don't know. It doesn't say. It just says these sorts of scenario can scare the crap out of anyone, including these courageous police officers. I'm not going to go to the comments because who knows what's there. But, Carly says goats. What if it is? What if it was somebody with a speaker and they were just playing like that, when the goats are yelling? I don't know. Let's try it again. Holy shit. I want to. Okay. So I am not making fun of these folks because I would have done the exact same thing. But this dude, I've never seen someone run so fast. But that's one of those things, if you see someone running like that, you take off running. You don't ask questions. You do not ask questions until you're safe, right? Am I right? Okay. One more time. Hell no. Hell to the no. Nope. Again, I love the horror genre. And I dig being scared, but dude, the officers, they got a call, and like Deborah says here, suspicious noises. Yeah, it's probably exactly what it was that happened. Oh wait, Deborah says, nah, my dumbass just watches them run by. So you're like, what? Why are they running? You're the one who ends up giving them that head start because, whatever ends up getting you, right? Is what you're saying. They just run by. You're like, I don't know what happened. And she says exactly. So yeah, just think about that. The both of them riding out together. Let's say that they double up, after a certain time, and they end up getting the call. Central 108, go ahead. You got a call reference suspicious noises out at the cemetery. Caller advised they continue to hear it, and just want somebody to check the area. They have no description, just sounds like someone screaming out there. So then they just start rolling out. I'm like, wonder what we're gonna get into. And then they're walking out, and they hear that scream, and the dude takes off running. Man. F that. Nope. Dunzo. That would freak me out, man. And and he runs first. She ends up turning around and is like, ah. I don't think she noticed right away that he turned around and started running, because from the way it looks, like there's such a hesitation there. And then she starts running too. She's like, hell no. Like, if he ran, I'm running too. And then, they get back into the vehicle, and dude, I would haul ass. Be like, screw this. We're getting in the car. We're taking off. And then we'll get on the radio. And what do you think they ended up saying? Like Central, we checked the area. We did hear the scream. We did hear the scream. I have no idea what it is. Show us clear. But would they continue? Would it continue to, or would they go back out? I don't know. That's the thing. I'm not sure if they would go back out there like that. All right, so let me see here. Lauren, I see that you sent me something. I don't remember if you have, or actually just send it to me on Facebook. Send that link to me on Facebook Messenger, and I'll pull it off of there, because the way it shows up here on my end of StreamYard, it doesn't show up as a link to be able to just simply click on it. Let's see. James says, my responsibilities keep me here at my console. Yeah. And he says UTL, GOA. Yeah, exactly. So Lauren says there's one link is legitimately haunted. Some of our deputies refuse to go back there. What? Lisa says unable to locate, gone on arrival. Yeah. Deborah says that totally would have been coded out as nothing heard. I don't know, man. I might have coded out being there and hearing that and just be like, and falling back and then opening my eyes, be like, oh shit. Central. There's scary shit out here. We'll be clear. Oh man, it freaked me out. Let's see. Everything is 10-4. No further investigation needed. Yeah. But very cool that they ended up getting it on the camera. Yes. Deborah says, ha ha ha. Yes, whispers. Yeah, that would be, I'm telling you, that would trip me out, man. Like never going there again. I'll go back in the day, during the day. But what if you go back during the day and you're walking around and you hear it again? I don't know. What's more scary? To hear something like that and running away while in the dark when you can't see anything? Or during the day, hearing that and seeing something? What are your thoughts? Which one? Which was worse? It's like the same kind of question that I asked my sisters once on zombies. Which ones are more scary? The ones like Dawn of the Dead, when they're just walking, or the ones from 28 days or 28 weeks later when they're freaking hauling ass after you? My answer was the ones that are running, the ones that are hauling ass after you. That shit is scary. My sisters were saying that the scarier ones are the ones that just walk real slow. And I'm like, no, man, like I would be able to run circles around them and stuff. Unless, of course, they grabbed onto me, then had to throw an elbow or something and hopefully their jaw falls off. But the ones that are running after you, and screaming, no. Those are the ones that I do not want to be caught by. But I want to know, what do you, for this video that we just saw, what is more scary? The fact that it's dark and you can't see anything and you hear that loud scream, or if you went back during the day and you heard that scream and you actually saw something coming at you? Which one? I want to know. Lauren says that's Hell Church, New Hightower Church. There's Canton, Georgia. What? See apparitions all day and night? And then she says, nope. If it's running after me, I assume it's going to eat me. Yeah, exactly. So in the question that I had said, what's more scary, at night when you can't see anything and you hear it, or in the morning? So Deborah says night. James says dark. During the day, would see it was a hawk or something. But what if it wasn't, dude? What if it was actually like some crazy thing that's running at you, like like E.T.? But not E.T. Something just like you've never seen before. Oh man, I don't know. I think it's both bad. They're both pretty bad. But yeah, being there at night, screw that. Lauren, did you let me check Facebook here really quick just to see. I want to see if this, yeah, there it is. Okay, cool. So let me see if I can pull this up.
Well, today we're going to
Whoa. This is like 20 minutes. Is there a spot that you know of that's a better spot than the other? My brother's on here and he says throw Reese's at it. Right, some scary ass thing running at you like this and you're like, there. I mean, if it works though, if it works, screw it. But if it stopped and started eating, would you actually run, or would you kind of observe it for a few seconds like, no way, what is that? Because there would be people who would not only stop to observe it eating those Reese's Pieces, but would get their phone out and start recording. By that time, you're dead because it's already eaten the Reese's Pieces and then it's like, ah! That's the world that we live in. When shit happens, the phone comes out because you want to capture that moment, right? Because you want to relive it no matter what it is. And at this point, you're like, oh man, no one is going to believe it. You're right. No one is going to believe it, and no one is going to know because you are gone. Lauren says, are y'all crazy? If I see some transparent 4-foot wide mouth, 6-legged being at day, nope. Deborah says, is it eating a squirrel or a brain? I don't know. I mean, if you hear whatever it is yelling brains, there you go. Then you know. Oh, James says the Reese's are to buy you time. Right, exactly. The Reese's are to buy you time, but people will stop. They'll think they have more time than they actually do, and just, oh, it's actually kind of cute, and then, and then that's it. All those scary movies have that one dumbass that ends up doing that. And they stay there longer than they should have. They know better. And then that's it. Everything is... Oh, Carly says, Reese's Pieces buy even more time. You're right. Because there's a bunch of them right in the bag. However, again, that might be that person who wants to capture a picture, a video, and is looking at the amount of Reese's Pieces that are there. I was like, oh, I still have like 10 more seconds. Oh, man. Let's see. Mike says, just make sure you bring a slower friend with you. That's so messed up. Right? Just like that video with the two officers. Like, the one didn't even realize the other one took off. By that time, it's probably over. Like, there's a ghost there who's like, hey, what's going on? You're like, no. Oh man. Or it ends up being like one of those horror movies where you've got that jerk off character who ends up tripping the other person, and they're like, no, and you're like, later, I'm out, because they're going after that one. And then you're just, oh man, I bet you taste good to them, but I'm going, I'm sorry, it's either you or me, and that's it. Let's see. Carly says, make it rain. My brother says, I would throw Reese's at that person's feet and go to the store for more. There's no saving them. Oh, that's messed up, man. Lisa says, yep, don't have to be the fastest, just faster than the slowest person that's with you. See, this is what The Walking Dead is all about, because yeah, the zombies are scary, but what's more scary? The humans, because everyone wants to survive. They all want to live, and they will do whatever they need to do to live. So so the show is more so about humans just taking each other out. Some of them are helping, right? But when it comes down to it, the zombies are really just extras. Oh man. Let's see. James says, how about insurance commercial when the girl wants to walk into the barn full of knives? Yes, yes, that is exactly like it. Yeah, there's a car there, right? And they're like, let's just get in the car and we'll take off. She's like, no, let's go into the barn. And they're there. And the guy with the mask and the chainsaw is just like, huh? Like, you guys are actually in here? Are you stupid? Like, and then he wins, of course. Yeah, Deborah, why can't we just get in the running car? Exactly. I'm going to share, Lauren, I'm going to share this video on the podcast page so that people can watch this here as well. So I want to play just a little bit of this. So go to 12 to see the creepiest part. This is filmed during the day. Oh, okay. I'm going to go to it. Oh man. Should I watch this? Like, am I going to have dreams about this? I still got to take the garbage out. All right. I'm going to show this a little bit here. I just realized that we're like almost 15 minutes past the hour. But it's fine. It's good. We go long sometimes on this. All right. Let's see here.
Well, there you go. The baptism pool.
Oh, what the hell?
A little short hike down to the baptism pool. And I guess at night, I guess you would think that this place is really haunted. But we'll
they got the music going and everything too.
And see how spooky it really is.
What? What else is on here? Wait, are they seeing something?
Wooded road and nothing around.
What? What did they see? I'm trying to skim through it here. So they're here at night as well?
There's the church.
See, I wouldn't be out there. Again, I'm going to share this on the podcast page so that everybody can check this out. And so let's see. Lauren says, now imagine officers having to respond to this at night. Yeah, exactly. And again, what if this is your night to do the ride along and you're going with them? Do you stay in the car or do you get out with them? What would you do? I think I would get out with them. Even though I would want to stay in the car, you know, there's power in numbers. and I would probably get off and be like, dude, I'm not staying in this fucking car by myself. I'm going with you because all I would need is to be sitting there just and then someone run up to the car and just be going like, ah! Because then there's nothing else you can do. You're just there and you're screaming. And hopefully the officers that you're with or officer will come back running for you. Oh man. Nope. I don't know, man. I don't know what I would do. I'm pretty sure I would go. I would go with the officer to look around. I don't you know, because it's that experience as well. Like, I don't want to be sitting there and you know, something else happen. Nah. Let's see. Deborah says, I totally get out of the car. Stay with the brave person. Carly says, I'll make sure that car wasn't lonely. Lauren says, so I'm in a running car and you're running. Hope you can run like Forrest because I'm gone. Okay, you know what? That's true. You're the one in the running car. Or what if the officer's like, nah, son, I'm taking the keys out. If you're going to stay here, you're going to stay here by yourself. The car's not going to be running. I can't let you leave without me. That could happen as well. Or you're sitting in the car is running. You hear that scream and you see the officer just running, hauling to the car, and you're trying to reach over to open the door for them, and you see something from the distance coming towards the both of you. Officer gets in the car, you both take off, you're looking behind you, and you see that thing coming after the both of you. Oh man. And there's nothing you can do. Like, you can't even shoot it because it's just coming at you fast. Nope. I'd be looking back like, dude, go faster. Go faster. Throw your lights and sirens on or something. Just keep going. And all you hear is just taking off. Yep. That would be some scary shit, because you know you'd be pissing yourself as you're watching the officer run towards the car. You've got the door open and you see this ghost or something chasing him or her, whichever. And you're just like, we gotta go. He's getting closer. It's getting closer. You get in the car. Go to take off. And then the car turns off. What do you do then? Nothing. You can't do anything. Let's see. Lisa says, hard pass for me. I'm staying with the car and the rifle. And she says, because the lights and sirens make you go faster. I said to turn the lights and sirens on only because if there's any cars in the way, they will pull over and you can keep hauling, and whatever's chasing you will, maybe transfer to the car that pulled over, who is being nice, because cars are supposed to pull over when there's an emergency vehicle going by. But this one would just happen to catch some sort of spirit. Oh man. Deborah yells out, no. Carly says, if I learned anything from Supernatural, shoot it with salt. There you go. Shoot it with salt. Carly says, so I'll be opening salt packets from lunch. Lauren says, you, sir, should never be alone with me. I'm one for all or all for one in these cases. Well, now we all know, and knowing is half the battle. If it's ever like that, and you're the one who is out of the car at the time, Lauren is going to hotwire that bitch and take that car, and good luck. I hope you have your running shoes on, because it's going to be a long night. Oh, man. Oh, that is great. Let's see. So I'm just going to share this here really quick. I'm not gonna talk too much on it because we've already passed the time here. So let me share this. And I just want to say, this is the house that I grew up in. Every so often, I will have a dream where I'm back in that house. It's not anything scary. It's just me being in that house as an adult with family or friends or having a cookout or whatever. We're visiting this house. And friends have told me the house is calling you back. And I always tell them to stop. I'm like, stop saying that. Like, that's creepy as shit. That whatever was there is what? Lauren says, this is what's wrong with you now. Now it all makes sense. It makes me wonder, my dreams, like this, like it's making it seem all like comfy and cozy. And it's like, come back to the house. No, I will not go back to that house. That house has been remodeled now. Again, this house back in the day was a funeral home. I don't know how long back in the day, but it was pretty far back. It was a funeral home at one time. And there's a lot of creepy things that happened down in that basement. Um, you go down there and you can see the cutout of where the oven was, where they would cremate bodies. And I remember in that slot that's there, my dad and I would go in there and we would put garbage bags there, just like extra storage. And I remember asking my dad once, where did all of this dirt come from? Like, when did you guys put this dirt in here? And he goes, that's always been there. So I don't think that's, it's not dirt. I'm pretty sure it was all ash from people, which is creepy because my parents used to hear like yelling and stuff down in the basement. Years and years later, again, this house got remodeled. My dad knows the people who live there, and him and my sisters went to go check the place out. And they said it's completely different, and they didn't feel kind of like that presence there or anything, but they noticed that the basement was sealed off. So they asked them, why did you seal off the basement? And they didn't want to say anything at first, but then they finally did. And they said the reason we sealed it off is because we could hear someone yelling down there. And it's the same shit that happened to my parents when they first moved in there. So they sealed off the basement. How crazy is that? Well, also, why are they still living there? But you know what? I say that, and that makes me a hypocrite because, well, not really. It doesn't make me a hypocrite. I didn't own the house. My parents did. I lived there. I didn't have, I couldn't do anything about it. But my parents, they continued to live there. We didn't move out until, years later. My parents ended up getting divorced and stuff. And we all split up. And going back to that house before the remodel, when my mom was selling it off, you couldn't really feel anything in there. And we went into the basement, and it was crazy because you would go into the basement and it felt like something was there, like someone was watching you. And as soon as we got whatever we needed to get, we would haul ass running upstairs. Okay. We would run upstairs and it felt like someone was running with you. That's how creepy that shit was. We used to hear like crying in the vents and stuff, like kids. And there was just so much stuff that happened at that place. But the most crazy thing that happened, hold on, let me hear it. Lisa says, what the? Nope. This is straight out of Amityville Horror. Yeah, pretty much. I'll say this one last thing. So after I was there, I went downstairs and I didn't really feel anything. And of course, there was no powers during the day, but even during the day, being down there in that basement, it was creepy as hell. There was only so much light that could come in. And we had a bunch of photo albums down there, and it almost looked like something was looking for us or looking for family, because there was pictures scattered all over the place and like faces were scratched out. It was the creepiest shit. And then I started to feel something in there and ended up took off completely. And Lauren, yeah, exactly. Yeah. So we ended up leaving. We split because we started feeling stuff again. And my mom and my grandmother, my mom's mom, they went back to the place. They were cleaning up the place because there was some showings, again, they were going to be selling the house. And they went downstairs to finish cleaning some stuff. Okay. and they were getting ready to clean this spot that was there, that was on, it was right on the other side of where the oven once was, and we had a curtain there. It was just like a little crawl space, and I don't remember if that curtain was still there at the time when they were there, but they were cleaning that spot. And I remember my mom said that she didn't really feel anything down there at first, but then she got this cold chill on her neck, and she started to feel a presence, and she said it scared her, and that my grandmother felt it as well. And my grandmother just kept telling her in Spanish, just pray, it'll go away. And right before she started to pray, she heard a whisper. She grabbed my grandmother by the arm, and they left. They didn't go back. They left a bunch of stuff down there. So I asked her what it was that she heard. And the whisper, what she heard, was something say to her, I knew you would be back. And they took off. I would have taken off as well. Right? Nope. When she was telling me that story, oh man, got goosebumps. Like I got goosebumps now thinking about it. But can you imagine being in that house, having all this crazy shit happen to you, and then hearing that whisper? I knew you'd be back. Nah, son. Happy Halloween, everyone. But that shit did happen. That is a true story. That is a true story. I knew you'd be back. So, true story. Happy Halloween, everyone. I hope you have an excellent weekend. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, for sharing stories, for checking out some of this other stuff here. Thank you to both James and Lauren for sharing these links. That has been really good. I'm going to take my house off of there. I hope you all have an excellent one. I love joining all of you here every Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern time for Open Mic Live so that we can share stories, funny stories, just everything. And oh, hold on a minute. My brother says, when you said that, everything stopped for me. Had to reload because it froze. What the hell? Oh, whoa, dude. That's creepy as well. Oh, man. This live broadcast has been sponsored by InDigital, Rapid Deploy, as well as Carbine. And we've got a lot of new episodes that are coming up. If you have any comments, questions, or you want to be a guest on the show, you can email us. And that is going to be wttpodcast@gmail.com. You can follow us on Twitter. That is @91podcast. You can like us on Facebook. That is facebook.com/within-the-trenches-podcast. If you're looking for any bonus content, you can check us out and support us on patreon.com/WTT podcast. Again, thank you so very much for all of the support. The job that you do as the most vital piece of public safety. Thank you. Thank you for what you do. Make sure to take care of each other and just be there in support of each other for, all kinds of healing and closure that we're able to get from each other, from helping and supporting each other and sharing stories. Thank you so very much. The podcast has now surpassed 1.6 million downloads worldwide and is heard in about 50 some countries. It has just been an amazing experience, and there is so much more to come. So please come back. I will see you, and it is going to be good. Oh, hold on a minute. I'm looking back here at the comments. My brother says the stream stopped on the dot. Oh, dude. Lisa says, nope. I'm going to church. And my brother says, I thought you were ending it like that. Lauren says, Fernando, see, even your phone called your brother rude for the memory. Oh man, yeah, that is pretty awesome. I could not do that. That's pretty creepy though that ended up happening. So good night, and when I see you on the next one, I knew you'd be back. Okay, I better stop because I'm gonna be the one having the nightmares now. Yeah. Have a good night, everyone. Have a good night. I love you all, and just continue being awesome. I will check you all later, and good night and big balls. Oh shit.